Professor Toledo was a tiny figure of a man, often overlooked in a crowd, yet he harbored grand ambitions. "I'll change the planet," he'd often say, with a conviction that made his colleagues chuckle behind his back. Little did he know he would indeed change the world, just not quite in the way he had planned. A brilliant particle scientist, Toledo had spent decades in Bern working on the largest particle accelerator ever constructed. Funded by a blend of corporate powerhouses and governments, the project was colossal, weighed down with enough bureaucracy to choke a mountain. But none of that bothered him. Today, he was in his office, carefully polishing a spot on his worn bookshelf. That spot, he decided, was where his Nobel Prize would soon sit. Toledo's office was stark, all dull concrete walls and industrial furniture, except for his sturdy wooden shelf, the one non-standard piece in the room. He polished it religiously, determined that no government-issued junk would jeopardize his precious prize. He even dusted his metal desk and made his bed, army style, before closing the door with reverence, preserving the inner peace of his drab little room. Toledo didn't care about comfort, money, or status. All he wanted was the success of his experiment. Everything else, he figured, would naturally fall into place once he proved himself. The walk to the lab. As Toledo walked down the cement corridors, he blended right in, his small frame and unassuming presence making him almost invisible. No one paid him any mind, a fact he relished. The less human interaction, the better. He made it to the elevator without uttering a single word, which to him was the perfect start to any day. With a swipe of his security card, he activated a hidden panel in the elevator, revealing a set of digital buttons. He selected Particle Accelerator Lab, and the elevator shot down at a stomach-dropping speed, descending nearly 70 floors into the earth. Billions of dollars had gone into constructing the particle accelerator, a sprawling 25-mile coil of magnetic energy buried beneath a mountain. The location was chosen for its proximity to 3 nuclear power plants from neighboring countries, each ready to pour unimaginable power into his experiment. Today was Saturday, chosen specifically for its low power consumption so that his work would be uninterrupted. The doors slid open to reveal 2 towering security guards, their expressions as blank as stone. They scrutinized his ID before stepping aside to let him into the lab. He adjusted his glasses, barely glancing at them, and strode in like a man with a destiny. The lab environment. The lab was more like an arena, humming with the low, constant thrum of countless computers, each running with more power than most countries could muster. Hundreds of fans whirred, cooling the blade servers needed for a single experiment. Cooling coils snaked from the walls, making the air chilly, and he immediately pulled on a heavy parka from the lockers by the door. The lab had its own sleeping quarters and break rooms for the scientists, some of,